Wanted to ask you about viewing those bin Laden pictures. First of all, you had to go to Langley, and what was that like?
Well, they made it pretty easy. I just went by there on my way to the airport on Friday, and there was another member of Congress, fellow member of the House Armed Services Committee, that was walking out when I was walking in. So they had us a place set aside, and they were ready for us, and only took a few minutes. I didn't have any doubt the man's dead, so it just confirmed what I already knew. But went in there, looked through the pictures. They had a number of pictures. Some of them were from right in the bedroom or the room where he was killed, right after he was killed, and some of them were before they put him in the helicopter, and some of them were on the ship when they were cleaning him up. So you saw him at sort of different stages. The cleaned up photos obviously were a little easier to see precisely what happened, but his face was intact. 90% of it was, so it was very easy to tell who it was. I mean, there was no doubt whatsoever. I mean, it was very clear.
All right, your thoughts about releasing the pictures to the general public?
Before I saw them, my position was that I hadn't seen them, so I was deferring to the president and the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, who recommended against it. I still have that view. I think that look, I'm all for openness and transparency, but the reality is there's a lot of stuff that's classified that we don't release, and I do think that, as we've seen in Pakistan in the last few days, I do think, particularly at this point in history, the negative could outweigh the good by putting our troops at risk unnecessarily. And, so I think it's the right decision not to release them. And at this point, maybe later on in our history, it would be something we could do, but I just don't think that the benefit outweighs the risk at this point.
All right, a couple more questions. I'll let you go. Your thoughts, how does this change the war on terror? Do you think that it makes any difference at all?
I don't think that. First of all, it's a very significant victory to kill him, no doubt about that, and it certainly will have a bearing on the fight against Al Qaeda, because he clearly was operationally involved. Ultimately, the part of this that changes the war for the better is the fact that we were able to get so many millions of pages of information as part of the raid. Does it mean that we do something different overnight? No. Does it mean that we're going to have an advantage in fighting Al Qaeda that we didn't have before? Absolutely. But we still have this fight wages on, and I think that and I've said this repeatedly, I think we ought to always be reassessing and assessing how we fight this war and every war day to day. I mean, because wars change, and I have confidence our commanders on the ground in Afghanistan in particular are reevaluating that. A lot of folks are saying, well, we ought to just use special ops forces. We certainly need to look at ways that we can use them the way we used them here effectively. But we got to remember that the reason we were able to go into Pakistan so easily, or more easily than we would have, is that we had a launching pad, so to speak, to fly from. And so, I don't think it changes things drastically. We will benefit from the intelligence, but we've still got a long way to go. And so I have more questions than I have conclusions on Afghanistan at this point. I am planning to travel to Afghanistan in the near future, and hopefully we'll have more answers when I get back.
All right, final question, Congressman. The debt ceiling has been reached. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we got to quit spending so much money. This is a real opportunity for us to make some structural changes and get the spending under control. We have two problems, the debt ceiling and the debt. The other side's solution is to just raise the debt ceiling. Well, that still leaves us with the other problem, the debt. My solution is make some structural changes and deal with the debt at the same time that you deal with the debt ceiling. Address both at once. I'm a no right now unless I see some serious changes in the way Washington does business. I'm going to stay a no.
All right, Congressman, we'll let you go. Thanks for the time here on the Dave Elswick Show.
Thank you all.
All right, bye-bye now. Congressman Tim Griffin here from District 2 and his thoughts on the pictures of the killing of bin Laden, the debt ceiling, and the war on terror. The Dave Elswick Show on KARN. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 9 is being brought to you by PI Roofing, your roof leak detective.